Hey, Courtney.
Hey, Jody. Good to see you.
It's so good to see you, C Bell. You look great. You look really, really good.
Thank you. I dressed up for you, girl. I didn't even recognize myself. I was like, who is this? So thank you for the invitation.
I love that. So for people, let me do a proper introduction of who you are. For people who don't know who you are, this is Courtney Bell. She's based out of Chicago, life coach, Reiki Master, friend for over 20 years. My go-to when it comes to like life lessons and you need to get to that next level. You're one of my confidants, and you're one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you during this pandemic, because there's a lot going on right now.
It is. This is unbelievable in so many ways.
It's crazy. First of all, how are you? How's Chicago? I know Chicago, you guys been on lockdown as well as New York, but how are you? How's your spirit going?
I want to say overall, my spirit is pretty good. I want to say maybe 85% of the time I am doing well, which is actually a shock for me because I'm such an extrovert. So going into this, I thought I was going to be like banging on the door, on the window, like Rapunzel trying to sneak people in, like hanging a ponytail out of the window. I was so nervous going into this, and I was surprised how at peace I've been for most days. Now, there are some days I wake up and I'm angry, or I'm just in disbelief at some of the things that are going on in the world. You know, I'm an empath, so at times I feel and I absorb more information than I probably should. And so I feel it. And just even seeing some of the things that people are going through, that's been tough. But I would say overall, so far, so good. And, you know, we have another month in quarantine here. Like, they've officially announced that our end date is May 30th, and it may even extend longer. So just trying to prepare myself for the next month.
Yeah, and that's and I've, you know, I'm dealing with the same here in Brooklyn. It's, you know, we have our dates, but we're going to stagger our opens. It's a lot. But one thing I could say is they're doing it for our safety. So no complaints here. I will stay my tail at home.
Right.
No complaints here. So now you must hear a lot because you are a life coach, and I know that you're very active in your clients' needs, and they call you. You must be really busy during this time as well.
I am busy, but not as busy as I normally am. So obviously with what's going on with the pandemic, my business has also been impacted as well. With coaching, I am still seeing clients virtually, but there's a decrease in numbers, just based on, you know, many different reasons. People just kind of want to be within themselves. There may be job loss, income loss. So I have seen a decline in my clientele base, but I am still popping in, just saying hi to people, just touching base. And then with my Reiki clientele, that has come to a halt, and that will resume post-quarantine because obviously that's a more intimate interaction. So, you know, clients come and there's an energy exchange and things of that nature. So I will be able to see clients again once the shelter in place is lifted.
Tell me a little bit more about that, the Reiki practice that you do. And for those that are listening to The Silver Lining, what is Reiki? I know we talk about Reiki when it comes to healing and spiritual work and just growing as an individual, but break it down to me as a Reiki master. Can you break it down so that it's forever and consistently broke?
I know, right? People ask me, and it's so bizarre because I have so many clients, and a lot of people even come not knowing what Reiki is because a lot of my work is word of mouth. And they're like, well, how is a Black woman on the south side of Chicago? How did you even get into this? But Reiki is an ancient Japanese form of relaxation. And it's believed that when the body is fully relaxed, then true emotional and physical healing can begin. And so what happens is clients come, they're on a massage table, and they are guided into a deeper level of relaxation. A, we begin with meditation, and then B, there's energy work. And so through energy and through manipulating the client's energy, they're able to go into a deep place so where they can really relax, and they have their own intrinsic experiences through that. During that process, because I've always been the Miss Cleo of the crew, as you know. That was an area where my insight and my intuition is able to shine. So during that particular period, I worked to remove emotional and physical blockages. And I always say that the body is an oracle. The body tells the story before it even comes to the world. Your body knows. And so in doing that, it allows me to open up physical and emotional blockages and also give my clients a clear, detailed reading as to what's going on. So sometimes people come to me with physical issues. They've gone to doctors and they don't know. They're like, well, the doctor said blah, blah, blah. We get on the table and I'm like, well, this is what I see. And they may go back with that information and then they're able to start the healing process. Also, for emotional blockages, I'm able to gain insight into how the body is impacted emotionally. So people come with a lot of trauma at times. And they're like, you know, I've had backaches for years. I've had this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I ask questions. I'm like, well, this is what I see is going on. You know, you may have gone through this trauma, and this trauma is, and I'm able to give detail. Like I'm able to see, like, this is the trauma I see. Did you experience this? And this is where it sits in your back. And this is why you've been having back issues. So this work has been a blessing to just for me to be able to serve in that way.
Wow. And is it because you're intuitive? Is that an intuitive thing? Or is it more because the body is reacting to certain touches? How does that part work? How do you determine?
I think it's a marriage of the two. I've always been very intuitive. I've always been, you know, the person that always had more insight than the average bear.
Exactly.
And even in high school, I began to have insight about different health issues for people I knew, and it was just unexplainable. And I never really gave it credence. You know, there'll be times where I could tell people stuff and they'd be like, how do you know that? That's been my whole life. But when I got introduced to Reiki, that changed the game. And when people would come, I started doing it. It was very informal. And then people would refer people. And the next thing I know, I just started seeing a lot of clients. And the more I did it, the more polished I got. And a few years ago, I was very intentional. I said, I'd like to serve a community of people, of, you know, whether it's high performing or professional people that don't always seek healers, because healers may look different to them. And
right.
I'd like to work with that community in tandem with my coaching practice to really identify with some of the challenges that they may be having, and then to be able to open the way so they can go to the next level. And since that happened, business started popping. It was like, so I talked to God. I was like, God, is this cool? Talk to God first. And then once that happened, business just started popping. And so it's been, and I do miss that. Like the pandemic, I've not taken this much time away from, you know, in-person clients, and the pandemic has definitely impacted that. And I still get calls on a regular basis. Like, you know, you're seeing people, I'm like, God, no, we're sheltering in place. But the minute this is over, I will begin opening back up.
Do you have to reimagine Reiki post-pandemic? How is that going to look for you? Because I know touching is, you're in an intimate space with people. You've got to touch people. I'm pretty sure now you've got to look at this differently. Do you see yourself reimagining what Reiki is going to look like post-pandemic?
I've thought about it, because people are like, well, can you do remote Reiki work? And there's an area of distant healing, you know, so that's really popular, but that is not necessarily my area of strength. And so I'm going to have, just like any hairdresser or barber, I mean, you know, if they could virtually do it through the screen, that would happen. For me, my work is also in person. So I'll have to just, you know, obviously implement higher safety levels for both, but that is something I thrive when it's in person. So I've definitely thought about it to like ad nauseam.
Yeah,
I thrive more in person, and then I'll allow each day to inform what that looks like.
Nice. As far as this time that you haven't been seeing clients, what have you been doing personally for yourself? How have you been maintaining this pandemic?
I was tired. I think I walked into the pandemic the day that they were like, okay, you're sheltering in place. And I grabbed groceries and made sure my family, everybody was good. I came in, I was exhausted. So I think my first step was to kind of rest and recharge. And I think that will be helpful for my clientele as well, because I needed to recharge and hit my reset button. I'm also an adjunct professor. I work and teach at a college. So fortunately for me, this is my first semester. I chose to teach exclusively online. I'm usually in the classroom and do some online work. I said, you know what? I'm going to just teach online this semester. And that worked out beautifully.
That was perfect.
Perfect. Because I didn't have to try to transition to remote. I was like, this is great. So I'm still teaching. I'm still working that way. I'm still coaching clients virtually, and definitely just taking advantage of the rest. And it's been beautiful to connect with people. I've taken that for granted. And this particular time has allowed me to really connect with people and have great conversations and cook and be more artistic and creative. So, you know, there have been some major, I mean, speaking of silver linings, I've been like, man, I can't believe it. Like,
right. What do you tell to those that that are anxious though? What do you tell to those that would come to you from a life coaching perspective? What words do you share with them now? What do you tell them now?
I told them a couple things, because anxiety, and you mentioned anxiousness. I mean, this particular climate operating in the unknown is obviously going to trigger anxiety and any other emotions when you feel actually helpless and hopeless from different perspectives, because people are being impacted in so many ways. You can't even begin. Everybody has their own individual story as to how this is impacting them. Mm-hmm. And so some of the things I may say to clients to stay in the present, and that is like, you know, can be incredibly difficult to even process. But if you stay in the present, then you're able to manage what's going on in front of you. And each day informs the next day, because things are changing every day. Each day informs the next day. And so when you continue to look back and relive stuff from years ago, that creates anxiety. That's not healthy, because you can't change that. And then when you're, you know, anxious and like, how am I going to pay bills 3-4 months from now? You don't know. You can't inform that either. Like, today inform. You can plan for that, but operating in anxiety is not going to help, because tomorrow you may get a check or something else may happen a week from now. So each day informs the next day. I also tell people to really find their formula, because you have to manage your anxiety. And so, and many times our anxiety manages us. You know, that sometimes anxiety may increase, you know, we all deal with anxiety differently, and we all manage it in a way. So for example, if you're anxious, it may trigger adrenaline. So you may want to, you know, hang drywall in your place and redo your house, whatever, because that's how anxiety is showing up for you. It can also show up for you where you're slumped across the couch for 3 or 4 days, because you just can't, you don't have the energy to manage it. So finding ways to manage your anxiety and finding your formula. So when you're at your best, there's a formula you're living by. You know, you may be getting up early, working out, going to the gym, eating vegetables. When you're in your best space, you have a formula. Find your formula for this and create a formula and use the best things that you have to get you through the day within quarantine. And that can be helpful.
Wow, good words. Thank you for those words. I'm over here trying to figure out my formula as we speak. Like, you know what? I have not been practicing my formula. Thank you, C. Bell. I appreciate that, Courtney Bell. What I do want to ask, though, on the more serious side, is the silver lining. Is there a silver lining? Do you feel like there's a silver lining that we're experiencing right now, being shelter in place, going through this pandemic? Is there a silver lining that you see for yourself and for other people?
I do. I think that like, I knew this question was coming too, because I've watched your interviews. But I do see the silver lining. What I'm seeing most immediately is just a sense of community. You know, I'm in Chicago, and Chicago is no Mayberry. It's a hard city. It's a hard vibration to navigate. Mm-hmm. And it's been beautiful just seeing people come together to care about each other, to make sure your neighbor's okay, you know, to walk outside and see entire families walking together and people speaking and people making sure you're okay. Like, that has been such a silver lining in this city, and I just feel like, and globally, because we've been seeing just communities come together to support each other. And that's been incredibly beautiful to me.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I keep hearing consistently is community and connection. It's, if anything, this has been bringing out a lot more, amplifying community and connection a lot more. So this is so, it's, to me, a very good silver lining.
I think so too. I think we needed it. You know what I mean? We needed it, and you know, it came in this package, but we needed, you know, you can't always choose the package, right?
Right.
But we needed to come together because maybe we were beginning to feel a little divisive, and so to come together now, we needed this, and so that is the silver lining. And I pray that we're able to make it to the other side, just healthier, and just more connected as a community and as people and as a country and as a nation, as a world. So that's been incredibly positive to see.
Perfect. Perfect. If people want more information about you, Courtney, what's your website? Where can they go, and can they follow you on IG?
Yes, so I am at CourtneyBellCoaches.com, and on IG I'm CBell Coaches.
CBell Coaches.
And Twitter, yeah.
And Twitter. Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Courtney, for being here and talking to me. This is why I come to you. It's no secret. I have my little crew, my little confidant team, and Courtney Bell is definitely one of those. So thank you, Courtney.
Thank you, Jody, and thanks for doing this. This is awesome. I've watched the interviews. This is an incredible platform, and I definitely know that you are providing, just through this work, providing love and hope in this different time. So thank you for your work. You're awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate that.